Those who have seen my earlier videos or follow my Facebook page or keep up with the news know that hikers can get into trouble. This can happen on the Appalachian Trail. It can also happen on other long-distance trails or any trail or wilderness area that attracts hikers. Many who get into trouble will call for help or try to, and that will be our topic. We'll focus in particular on the use of electronic communication devices and apps that hikers can carry. Some advertise emergency use capability and some don't. We first, however, need to recap a few points I made in my video about getting lost in the wilderness. The link's in the description. That video told how hikers are getting lost, getting into trouble, going missing, and dying despite all the 21st century electronic devices available to us. In that video, I told about a man who got lost and died even though others were searching for him. And those who follow the news know a search and rescue team looked hard but failed to find one lost AT hiker who later died. Using the latest technology will improve our chances in an emergency. But evidence suggests we cannot assume a cell phone or any electronic device will guarantee our safety no matter what. Regardless of the electronics we carry, we as hikers are best served if we practice self-reliance. This involves doing all we can to avoid trouble in the first place. I'll talk more about this later. We'll also talk about things to keep in mind if we do have to call for help. As I have said before, cell phone coverage has gaps along the AT. Even in areas where service is available, we might not have a signal if we are surrounded by tall hills on all sides. Even if our phone works, we might not get anyone to help us unless it's a clear emergency. I earlier told how some national parks warn visitors not to call for help simply because they are tired or hungry or whatever. I also have told the story of how I dug a hole in a muddy AT spring so it would fill up with water. I did this to help a young hiker with diabetes. He, his father, and brother had all run out of water. The four of us climbed a hill to a nearby road, and the father called 911. To shorten the story, nobody was going to bring us water. We were on our own. There are enough genuine emergencies as it is. The northern end of the AT is in the state of Maine, and it is rough territory. The Maine Warden Service recently said that about 28 AT hikers get lost in Maine every year. 98% of those are found within 24 hours, and 95% are found in 12 hours. I found a story online that said between 1992 and 2007, the U.S. National Park Service conducted more than 65,000 search and rescues involving more than 78,000 people. More than 2,600 of those people died. The cost of all those searches exceeded $58 million. Another story said the Park Service did more than 2,300 search and rescues in 2013. More than 1,300 of them involved day hikers. Among those searches, 148 people died. We can assume phone calls started a lot of these searches, so how do we know what our cell phone will do on the AT? If we do a Google image search of, quote, cell phone coverage map, we can find outlines of the United States, or at least the lower 48, for different companies. We can search for a map for the cell company we use. The maps I have found do not show a lot of detail, but many of them have enough gaps to show taking a cell phone signal for granted would be a mistake. Gaps are common in the U.S., especially in the West. Again, cell signals will be affected by the hills around us. If we need a cell signal on the AT and don't have one, the safest bet might be to climb the nearest hill on the trail, if we can get there. A trail guide should let us know how far away we are from one. On the AT, the next hill usually isn't very far away. It would be a bad idea to leave the trail and head into the woods looking for a cell signal. As I have said, I think wandering deep into the woods off the AT is a terrible idea. Most AT hikers don't carry detailed maps, and we might end up lost on top of whatever else is wrong. As I have said, AT hikers are usually quick to react if they find another hiker in trouble. In a couple of instances I know of, a hiker dropped his pack and headed for the nearest road to get help. One electronic device popular among hikers is an emergency locator beacon. They can send out a distress call and show our GPS coordinates. Based on the information I can find, these devices use satellite signals and not cell signals. I don't own one, and I can't talk about them directly. We can, however, do a little online shopping together. The information I show here is what I found as a prospective buyer. One popular model is the Spot Gen 3. In June 2016, it cost at least $150 on Amazon.com. The device requires use of a service that costs $150 a year when I checked the website. The device can notify an emergency response center of our GPS location. It also can send messages that notify our family and friends where we are and allow custom messages. On Amazon, it has 58% 5-star ratings and 16% 1-star ratings. The 1-star ratings include multiple complaints about the company's service and billing policies. One reviewer said he used the device in an actual emergency and no help came. Eventually, the Spot company claimed the sheriff's office said the call was a false alarm, according to the reviewer. I am sure many of us have read negative Amazon reviews that we believed had no real substance. We have to make our own judgments about this kind of thing. The reviews are there for anyone to read. There are, of course, other products. One company is Delorme. One model costs about $268 and can be used to send an SOS. It allows a dialogue with the company's 24/7 search and rescue monitoring center. It can be used to send text messages and GPS coordinates to emails and cell phones. One of the company's models has additional features and costs $378. Amazon lists the same set of reviews for both of these products. 55% of the reviewers gave them 5 stars, 13% gave 1-star reviews. These devices also come with service fees ranging from $12 to $100 a month in 2016. Some reviewers alleged problems in dealing with the company. One reviewer said he was in the Sierras and the device sent messages to his friends and family that said he was in the Indian Ocean. The company responded to this review with 6 paragraphs saying such problems had been fixed. Yet another company is Rescue Link. They sell 3 models and the cheapest is $250. One of them has 71% 5-star ratings on Amazon and 6% 1-star ratings. Unlike the other companies, Rescue Link has no subscription fees. The device has 2 built-in tests that allow the user to routinely verify that it's functioning and ready for use. Among the bad reviews, one buyer said the one they bought did not work. Another noted the device requires a unique beacon ID to be registered on the National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration website. The number that came with their product was listed as already used, the reviewer said. If I am understanding the descriptions correctly, the device as it is sold is not designed for sending repeated messages back home. Again, the Spot and Delorme products allow us to send messages home. If I bought one, I test that function before I went on a long trail. Needless to say, if we buy one of these things, we have to understand the directions thoroughly. If we accidentally send out a distress call with one, it wouldn't be the first time it happened. Another option is satellite phones. Here are some examples and the reviewer ratings I found on Amazon. The one with the highest rating is quite expensive. Under the general category of electronic aids are GPS-based trail guide apps. In the description is a link to the Guthook GPS app for the Appalachian Trail. This app will not send out a distress signal, but it will tell us what's in front of us on the trail. Guthook also has apps for the Pacific Crest Trail and the Continental Divide Trail. The apps show the user where they are on the trail. Also worth mentioning are the Halfmile Pacific Crest Trail iPhone and Android apps that also use GPS. These are companions to a map set also sold by Halfmile. Interestingly, Halfmile says if a hiker strays off trail, the app includes a live trail diagram to aid navigation back to the PCT. Guthook, by the way, is the trail name of a hiker who started the company. The website says the Guthook Guide's development team is, quote, alarmed at the increasing number of people stating their intention to hike without paper maps. Electronic devices and apps can fail. It is a horrible idea to rely solely on a device or an app as your sole navigation source. End quote. If all of those Amazon reviewers are telling the truth, emergency rescue beacons also can fail. I am not sure there is anything any of us can do to 100% guarantee our safety in the outdoors. I must emphasize again that more than once someone has died in the outdoors despite the fact a search for them was launched very quickly. If we are to travel long distances in the outdoors on foot, we can work hard to be as prepared as we can. I've shown this list before. If we can accomplish all of this, it will go a long way to keeping us safe and sound. Many of my videos have spoken to these goals, plus steps we can take to reduce the risk of injury or illness. We will be well served if we have a talent for thinking ahead, for thinking before we act, for dealing with unexpected problems, and for knowing when to act cautiously. If we day hike, we need to be prepared for the worst weather we might encounter. In high country, weather can turn very bad very quickly. In the American West, many have died by falling down hills or cliffs. When covered with snow, many mountains in the West are a particular hazard. It takes special equipment and the ability to use it correctly to navigate those areas. Many have been hurt by falling down on the Appalachian Trail, where there are many steep and rocky hillsides. In an earlier video, I told how hiking poles have helped me stay on my feet many times on the AT. In high open places, hikers have been hit by lightning in both the American West and East. The safest plan is to avoid those areas until such weather clears. If we do call for help and we're pretty sure help is coming, we need to assess how easy it will be to find us. If we are on a well-defined trail and stay there, it shouldn't be too hard. If we are lost in the woods, we have to do whatever we can to increase our visibility. If we have something, for example, orange or red or yellow, we can haul it up a tree like we would a bear bag. Building a fire might help. Some people have been found after spelling out a message with sticks for searchers to find. If we have a whistle, and we should, we can blow it every 30 or 60 minutes. For those who don't know, an SOS is 3 long blasts, 3 short, and then 3 long, followed by a pause. There is a trick to using a signal mirror, and if we buy one, we should read the directions and practice with it. And we should remember, if the sun is directly behind us, we won't be able to signal whoever is directly in front of us. All of this, of course, assumes someone will be looking for us. In another video, I told how I got lost in the big woods. During another trip, I accidentally stabbed myself in the leg with a hunting arrow. Quite stupidly, I might add. And on yet another trip, a tree branch stabbed me in the eye and damaged my cornea. In each of these instances, my car was within a couple of miles of me. My only course of action was to get to the car as quickly as I could. One thing we have going for us is most of the time we'll end up back home in one piece, especially if we don't travel too far on foot. If we do travel long distances on foot, let's be careful out there. And with that, this grim conversation comes to a close. A million thanks go out to my subscribers. If you have not yet subscribed, it would be very much appreciated. And as always, thanks for watching.